finally home. I've been gone for too long.
Good morning everyone and welcome back to another video. So I'm going to do today a very highly requested video by a lot of you, and it's a day in the life of an Etsy store owner. So as some of you might know, I own 2 small Etsy stores with my partner Dom. One's called Luana Creations and the other is Luana Gemstones, and they're both focused on crystals, gemstones, and one of the stores is more focused on handmade jewellery. So we'll bring you along for the day and share the process. So we've got quite a lot planned for today. We've got to pack all the orders this morning, make some things this afternoon, and then we've actually got a product photo shoot which we're really excited about with a really good friend. Excuse Echo squawking in the background, my cat. And then I'm going to do a little sit-down Q&A right at the end of the video for any of you who've got any burning questions or advice that you'd like. It's going to be a very realistic day in the life because Echo is very needy in the morning, but we have so much to do in the morning that it gets quite hectic. So let's bring you along. What's the matter? What is the matter with you? What's up? What's up? Are you gonna go to sleep? Are you gonna go to sleep? Oh, Echo. Are you ready? That's it, you play with that while we do this. Good boy. Already demanding another coffee, but I haven't even drank my first one yet.
Alright, so the first thing that we've got to do in the morning is print out the labels, so everyone's names and addresses and all that stuff. Obviously can't show you proper people's names and addresses, so we're going to have a collection of P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Ways and Freds and Wilmers and people like that. But we get a pack of these label sheets. I don't know if you can just about see the lines on it. Yeah, sort of, yeah. So there's 12 labels on this sheet, and so I put the names in kind of in reverse order, so the very first order of the day will go down at the bottom here, and then it'll work up through the sheet like that, and then I just sort of cut them out in reverse order, which might sound like a bit of a funky way of doing it, but like I'll show it in a second anyway. But it basically means that once we then do get round to lining the orders up, the names are then in the correct order, and it just makes it a lot easier to figure out who's who and what order and all that kind of stuff. So let's put some names into the sheet and then I'll print it out and show that next bit too. So normally from Etsy I can just copy the name and address from there. Obviously I can't do that because I can't show you the people's names again, but yeah, I'll just type them in for this one. But yeah, normally it'd just be a copy and paste job. And yeah, we don't use the Etsy labels just because we've not got a proper label printer or anything like that. And for the sort of the difference in cost, it's only like a little bit cheaper to do the Etsy labels versus us going to the post office, and it wasn't worth the faff for us effectively. So yeah, this is just the way we do it, and then drop them off at the post in a little bit. But let's get this label sheet filled in and printed out. So it's been a quiet day this morning, and we've only got 5 imaginary names on the sheet. So then after we've done that, I'll print that out, obviously. And the printer's just behind me. As promised, I then do it backwards, so I like to chop the little excess off the top and bottom. I think it just looks a little bit neater. So these are in the wrong order now. Imagine that one's got one on, obviously it hasn't, so I'd cut that one out. So that would be the very last order, is now on the bottom. Then the second to last, third to last, second first, and then the first actual order that was in the list. So then when we spin them round, they're then in the right order that we got them from Etsy in. So ready to line up the actual products now. Why, thank you.
Let's get this started.
When I stayed home, I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way.
So this is our bowl of seconds. So these are stones that don't quite make the cut, and
Beautiful.
we sell these discounted, so you just get a big box, and what were you saying? It's 16 crystals.
Or 200 grams.
And they're just so pretty. So even though they're seconds, they're still so beautiful. But we just thought we would give them a second chance of life. So they might have a little chip in, or they might not be up to the standard that we like. So yeah, we do sell these on the store if you were interested, and it's a really great way to get started with crystals if you've never had them before.
At least to stay alive and the time that we share.
What are you doing? What are you doing? No, we don't. We don't. He's the least helpful helper that I know. What are you up to now?
Walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise that with you I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about. We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time.
So as you just saw, I've got a little basket full of all of the things. So Dom usually does the admin and organising because it's much more his forte. I'm more of the like scatty one, the creative type. And I do all of the wrapping of every single order that we've ever sold. So just had a little look on both stores, and the Gemstone store we've sold 5,441, and the Creation store we've sold 1,191. So these little fingers have worked very, very hard over the last few years. I think it's coming up to, or has been already, our 1 year anniversary for our Luana Gemstone store, which has just absolutely surpassed our expectations. It's been really, really good, and we've had so much support and really great feedback from people. So we're really glad that we started it, and I definitely say to anyone out there who's thinking of starting a store, just start. So I wanted to show you this little thing that Dom made me. Because I wrap so many orders, I needed something that was more simple, so we got a piece of rock from the garden and then a stick from one of the trees we chopped down, and it just works so perfectly. These spool holder things cost so much money, but this was completely free with a little bit of creativity, and that is what we do. So I just basically have, I think this is hemp twine, it's definitely natural, so this can be put in your compost bin, and then we use masking tape and this very old little sellotape holder.
Yeah, you leave my dispenser alone.
And then we've got eco-friendly, what's this called? Parcel tape. It's too early, I need more coffee. So that's what we use, and then also just some tissue paper, so as well this can be recycled. And then for things that are more fragile, I've got this little fragile, I always keep little offcuts of paper and bubble wrap for if I need to reuse it. I don't like things going to waste, but we have fragile stickers for orders that are more fragile. And under the table there is a massive roll of bubble wrap, which is something that can't be avoided. A lot of the things we send are so precious and delicate, and if they're going across to other countries like India, America, we've had things go all the way to Thailand, and where was the furthest we've sent one?
We went to Oz in New Zealand.
Well, we've been to Australia and New Zealand too, but just every country you can think of we've sent something to, and sometimes the postal companies aren't very kind to the orders, so we definitely try our best to use recyclable materials, but sometimes we need to use bubble wrap, and that's just a fact. And as a smaller business too, it's just a much more cost-effective option, and we always ask our customers if they can reuse the bubble wrap too to do so. So I'm going to start wrapping, stop talking. This is usually the time that I put YouTube on. It's probably the only time of the day that I actually sit and watch YouTube, but I love catching up with people and listening to people chat as I wrap the orders. So let's crack on.
Smiling at me as so many times before. I'll never wanna be away, leave you
thought I would quickly share a few of the pieces that we actually make. So we've got quite a collection of different things. Dom focuses more on the macrame with the hemp string, and he's really good at it. So these ones are interchangeable pouches, so you can take the crystals out and change it for whatever crystal you like. So we have a whole selection of colours on our store, and obviously every single crystal you could ever want, so we can do like pick and mix and stuff like that, but there is also pre-made ones like this one on the store. I focus more on wire, so this one's half done, and this is a sea glass necklace. So I need to finish that one off today. And then these ones are what I usually do, so it's just like a little wire cage, so exactly the same method as what Dom does, but just with wire instead. And then this one was one of my more fancy ones, and this is a tree of life, so it takes a lot longer to do these ones and it's a lot more craftsmanship. But I'm really proud of this one, and it's just on the most gorgeous crystal. So this one is Angel Aura, and you can just see the beautiful flashes. And then the other thing that we sell, which I want to make more of today, are these little charms. So they're intended to go on the bottom of one of these tea strainers. So these go on your cup, and then this bit dangles down. Okay, so I bought a cup so I can demonstrate. So the tea ball goes in there with your loose leaf tea, and then this goes on the side, and then it just dangles there and just looks really pretty with your cuppa. So I really like these, and they're really great if you do drink lots of loose leaf tea. So obviously if it went on this side it'd look a bit better like that, and it's just a really nice addition. But we do also sell these without the tea ball, so you can just have them as like a keychain or something like that. They make a really great addition. So I'm going to have a look through all the crystals and then make a few more of these this morning. So we're just on our way now to this photo shoot. It's going to be a branded photo shoot, so we're going to get lots of nice pictures for our Etsy store, and I'm just so excited. It's so long since we've been to the beach as well, so it's going to be really nice. So we'll bring you along and see how it all goes. Welcome to the next day. So we had a really good time yesterday afternoon. We went to a photo shoot with our really good friend Josie. So I'll leave all the contact details for Josie below. She's trying to branch out into branding style photo shoots, but she also does like couple photo shoots and things like that. So if you're in this part of the country, I definitely highly recommend her. She's amazing, so professional, and she creates just really beautiful earthy toned pictures. So I'll share the links down below, and I'm sure over the next few weeks I'll be sharing pictures that we got on that photo shoot. So on a normal week we take our own pictures, you know, we don't hire a photographer every week. I just thought it'd be really fun to document this rare opportunity that we got. But we take pictures out in the garden by ourselves, just with my camera that I use for vlogging, and that's pretty much what we do on days where we've got lots of admin to do. On days like today, Dom's just going through an order we've just received from our wholesaler, so counting crystals and just doing a little stock take. It's a massive part of the store. So I'm going to do a little Q&A now just to finish this video off. I got lots of questions asked over on Instagram, so I'll just quickly go through those, and hopefully it helps any of you out there who are wanting to start an Etsy store yourselves. So the first question is actually a really good one, and one that I think is important to ask. They said, what is the admin bit like? So I don't do anything to do with admin. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm such a scatterbrain and I can't stick to any type of routine or structure, but Dom is really good at sticking to routine, and so he pretty much is on his spreadsheet multiple times a day, doing a stock take, an inventory take, you know, every time something sells he changes it on the spreadsheet. It's a big process to go through when you've got lots of stock like what we do. It's so much easier than having to go and count every single crystal and making sure you've got enough for the orders, because there's nothing worse than someone ordering something that you don't have anymore and having to disappoint that customer. So I would say the admin part is probably the most important part of the entire process. So I got a few questions here from someone. For some reason it's cut off the end of the question, so I'm not sure what the first one was. But they also asked, what was the first month of opening your stores like, and do you have any advice of finding wholesalers? So the first month is the most exciting month, but also nerve-wracking. So we put some money into buying all of the products and, you know, the materials to make the necklaces, and it's always daunting because you think, oh my gosh, what if I don't get the money back? But it was just really fun, and you know, my first ever Etsy store, the Luana Creations store, I got such positive feedback and I was literally doing a happy dance every time. On Etsy it makes like a little cha-ching noise every time you have a sale, and we still have that to this day, so if you ever hear it in the background of a video, that's all that is. But yeah, just absolutely just so exciting, and there's a lot that goes into it with thinking about the shipping prices, and you're going to mess things up along the way, but that's all part of the process. In terms of wholesalers, I would say find out what's really important to you and then just do lots and lots of research. So when we started both stores, we really wanted it to be minimal impact on the planet and to be ethically sourced crystals and people just doing things right. So we made sure our wholesalers are ethical and that they package in the least plasticky materials that they can. So that was really nice because it stayed on brand for us, and it's something that's always been really important as well. Someone else asked, does this job pay some bills or just extra money? So Etsy is a huge part of our income combined, so I would say definitely Etsy is up there with one of the top earners. Second to that for me is YouTube, and like I said, Dom has a part-time job as well, but Etsy's started taking over more and more and more, so Dom's been able to reduce his hours more and more and more. And like you guys know, I left my job back in, it was like just before the new year, and YouTube took over that. So yeah, all in all, we are kind of moving more towards being completely self-employed, which is so fun and exciting. Someone else said, do you feel like your YouTube channel helped to grow your shop? I've spoken about this in the past, and I would say definitely, especially those first, if you can hear clicking, it's just Dom in the background sorting through crystals. Just wanted to mention that in case you're wondering what the heck it is. Yeah, I've said before, when we first launched the first store, I got such amazing feedback and that sudden rush of sales, and I think that really helped the store in the long run. But there's no reason why, if you don't have a big audience, that you can't just start your brand today and focus it on whatever you're selling, you know. Whereas I'm more like a lifestyle brand, if you want to say, and so my Etsy stores and my jewellery and all of that kind of fits in for me, and it's a really nice way to receive support from you guys as well. So it's kind of always just been a bit of both, but I would say yes, having an audience before you launch your store definitely does help in the long run. But as well, there are so many successful Etsy stores out there that have no other social media influence, so it just depends, I think, on the algorithm and how consistent you are, and how many great reviews you get as well really does help. Did you have to start considering tax and accounts straight away? If you're setting up any business, I would say it's always really important to take into consideration tax. I think it's something people miss a lot with YouTube, but it's really important if you've got like a full-time job that you also take into account your self-employed earnings, because at the end of the day, it is still your complete income for the year. So yes, I would say keep a spreadsheet and keep track of what you're earning and what your actual profit is. So I mean, you'd have to speak to a tax person to advise you properly, but I would say get advice straight away from the beginning, and then it can go smoothly after that. So then someone else asked, how did you get started with your store? It all started on a road trip home from France. We went on a family holiday and I was brainstorming what I wanted to do with my life. I had no idea at that point, and something inside of me was like, make jewellery. I just really wanted to make jewellery. We'd seen some amazing pieces of jewellery in French markets, and I thought, oh, macrame and wire wrapped things, that would be so amazing. So when I got back, I ordered the wire and I just started playing around, and to be honest, I actually sold some of my first pieces that I ever created on my Etsy store, and they were the first things I ever sold, so that's really nice. And I still know the first girl who ever ordered from me, and we still talk today, so that was really nice. But that's how it all started. And the second store, the gemstone store, we got so much demand on the other store for people asking for crystals and where we sourced our crystals from, so we thought, why don't we offer that to the world as well? So in the first lockdown we actually opened up this store, and it's been wildly successful, more successful than we ever thought. And then to finish off, we got lots and lots of questions asking for tips of how to open an Etsy store and, you know, any advice that I've got. I think overall I would say if you've got a craft or you've got something that you love or an idea, just like the tiniest little idea, go for it. Like, you're not going to lose out really. I mean, if you invest a lot of money into an Etsy store like what we did, it's a different game. But say you create, so I know people do like printed tea towels or printing on mugs or making jewellery like what I do. Just start off small, you don't have to invest lots of money into it. On Etsy, in England at least, it works out to be about 20p to list an item. So worst case scenario is you're going to be stuck with your stock and have lost 20p, but I don't think that's too bad of a risk to take, especially when doing something as amazing as potentially transforming your life and making yourself into a small business owner. I really hope these tips have been helpful. If you've got any questions at all, then just let me know. Leave me a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed being a fly on the wall of what it's like to live a day in our crazy Etsy store life. It was really fun to bring you all along. And if you want to see another video like this from me in the future, then let me know as well. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you have a really brilliant day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all in my next video.